Hey, I'm Brian Francis, and for the Cabarrus Chamber, this is your Monday Minute for September 16th, 2019. Well, last week in Raleigh was interesting. As you probably have heard by now, the House overrode the governor's veto of the budget. They did so by an overwhelming margin, approximately 55 to 15. And if you're wondering why there were only 15 no votes, well, it was because most of the Democratic caucus wasn't present. Why was most of the Democratic caucus not present? Well, what you believe really depends on who you believe. There's a version of the story that would say the Republican leadership lied to the Democratic leadership and promised them that it was going to be a no-vote session so that their presence was not required. And then the Republicans forged ahead and overrode the veto. A different version would have that the Democrats misunderstood what Republican leadership had told them, and that based on their misunderstanding, they did not attend a session where votes were eligible. And as the Speaker has promised all session, if he found the opportunity to override the veto during a vote-eligible session, he was going to do so. We'll leave it up to you to decide which version of the events you think is closest to the truth. We will tell you ultimately the passage of the governor or of the General Assembly's budget would accomplish a number of things for the Cabarrus Chamber's legislative agenda. We would see funding for school construction from the state, which is one of our agenda items. We would also see an extension of the sales tax exemption for jet fuel, which is part of our legislative agenda. Now, where it stands, the budget has gone to the Senate. The Senate has not yet taken it up. On first passage of the budget, there were 4 Democrats who joined the Republican majority to provide a veto-proof majority to vote for the budget. Whether those Democrats would again vote for the budget and to override the governor's veto remains to be seen. Now, with that as the backdrop, the General Assembly moved to legislative redistricting, which they are under court order to complete this week. As we mentioned before, the state Senate seats for Cabarrus, or state Senate seat for Cabarrus County, will not change. However, the House seats will change. Under the map as of Monday morning, the 2 seats represented by Representative Johnson and Representative Pittman basically rotate a quarter turn clockwise. So the seat represented by Representative Johnson becomes more of a Northwest Cabarrus seat. The seat represented by Representative Pittman becomes a Southwest Cabarrus seat. And then Representative Sasser continues to represent the eastern side of the county. I'm sure something interesting will happen again in Raleigh this week, and we'll be back to tell you about it in the next Monday Minute. Until then, I've been Brian Francis, and this is your Monday Minute from the Cabarrus Chamber.